Welcome to the future of Donkey Kong, the first in our series of Nintendo franchise forward thinking, where we examine the past, the present, and where we think they're going to go from here. In terms of the Switch specifically, we begin with the legendary ape, a franchise that I hold near and dear to my heart, and hopefully my cohorts do as well. We've got Gabe and Jake and myself here, the full Switch Force crew, to discuss the future of Donkey Kong.
When you said the legendary ape, I thought you were talking about Gabe for a second. I'm so sorry.
Hey, I am a legendary ape in my own right. So
Gabe is definitely a beautiful man, but I don't know if he can hold even a candle to Donkey Kong himself, the protector of the banana horde. Donkey Kong, obviously, the ape debuted in Donkey Kong, but we're going to focus more on the games from the Super Nintendo and beyond. So Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3, DK64, the legendary Donkey Konga, Donkey Kong Jungle Beats, and then the more recent Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze. So I, for one, was a huge proponent of that initial DK trilogy on Super Nintendo. Those are some of my favorite games of all time, and frankly, it shocks me if they get a bad rap nowadays, because I absolutely love them.
who gives them a bad rap? Can we find them?
I've seen quite a few people say that they are definitely rose-colored glasses.
Like Sonic,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah. Which I mean, I know that initially they were impressive due to the graphics and sort of the visual tricks that they were pulling with the backgrounds and the trees and the rain. That first Donkey Kong Country level was kind of a sight to behold back
The
then.
most memorable music in all of Donkey Kong.
That first level?
Yeah.
Just kind of like a stormy night?
Yeah.
Donkey Kong has incredible music, it has fantastic platforming, and I think it has wonderful characters. To me, I like the fact that it looks... I mean, they've kind of homogenized it now, but I like that initially it looked like such a different universe than the Mushroom Kingdom. Like Donkey Kong, Cranky Kong, Dixie Kong, Rambi, Squawks. Those are all like characters that are very Nintendo, but still have their own vibe. And Rare did such a fantastic job of, I really feel, building a great world back then.
You know what else is great?
Yes.
Trivia. I have a trivia question for you two fine gentlemen.
Okay.
All right. So, Donkey Kong didn't start off as Donkey Kong when
Right.
it was first being made.
Right.
Do you know the name of the game that turned into Donkey Kong eventually? I'm pretty confident neither one of you is going to know this.
Big Ape on Campus.
Wreck-It Ralph.
All right, we're going to do this like we played that other game. All right. No, we can't. That would get to it. There was a game called Radar Scope that your friend Miyamoto.
Okay.
Your friend
we
Miyamoto.
have hung out.
He assigned Nintendo to convert Radar Scope into what eventually became Donkey Kong. Did you know that?
No, did not know that, but that is very interesting. And I think, like, obviously, that is sort of the soul of Donkey Kong, as we've seen with Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze, now developed by Retro.
Which I don't like.
You don't like because of the Metroid connection, but those games are both brilliant. And again, it's because of that same great combination, right? Really cool visual tricks. Mm-hmm. And really great platforming and characters and sort of a world. You know, they get a little goofy with the tiki characters and some of the new monsters. I do miss the Claptraps and the Kremlings and King K. Rool. I wish he would have made an appearance in Smash Bros. But maybe he can come back for the Switch port.
Maybe.
Because he was a very highly voted character in the
Yeah, I remember when the voting was
so he
happening.
could come back. But how do you feel about sort of like, I guess... what part of the DK lore would you like them to take forward towards
Actually,
Switch?
if you don't mind, before we do that,
Yes.
I want us to each pick our top 3 Donkey Kong games, because there's been a lot.
Okay. And
Alright.
I guess this will reveal where we want it to go.
Yeah. So, Jake, give us your top 3 Donkey Kong games first.
Let's see. In no particular order, Donkey Kong 64, if for no other reason because of the rap. Donkey Kong Country 2, if for no other reason than because me and Zach had some great times with it where I would get yelled at a lot for not being able to sustain the level of skill that he had because I was like 4. And the third one, Donkey Konga.
There you go.
We have those bongos still somewhere around
They're
here.
in the basement, I saw them.
Yeah, maybe Switch will bring back the... I hope that Switch, honestly, as dumb as it sounds, does have a lot of interesting peripherals.
Like bongos.
Like bongos, or like, imagine like, okay, you know like Taiko Drum Master?
Yeah.
I believe, I don't know if it was the DS, I think it was DS, not 3DS, had like an attachment where you had like a little drum for the handheld. Mm-hmm. And like, imagine if like the Joy-Cons, like, you had 2 little bongos that you could like stick onto the system for like Donkey Kong portable version.
Yes.
Okay, anyhow, my top 3, and this isn't a particular order, would definitely be Donkey Kong Country 2.
Okay.
Dixie Kong is one of my favorite characters of all time. Don't know why. Hope she's in Mario Kart. Hope she's in Smash Bros. Bring her back in some capacity.
Okay.
So Donkey Kong Country 2, I really love the music, and Bramble Blast is probably like one of my just favorite video game moments of all time. I have great memories of that because I genuinely love the way they integrated sort of the swamp and the theme park and the beehive. I just thought they did such a great job of really integrating unique environments into a platforming game with crazy monkeys.
Yeah.
So it's Donkey Kong Country 2. Donkey Kong 64 is really good, like from a nostalgia standpoint, but it's not a really good game. So
It's not. It's slow as hell.
I don't think it belongs in this list. So my second one is gonna be Tropical Freeze. I love what they do visually there, and I really love that they brought back sort of the extreme difficulty that I think made me love DKC back in the day.
Yeah.
As well as like that game had such a nice variety as well in terms of environments and courses. I don't know, just another gem, one of the best titles that they've made, and one possibly Retro's. Well, we won't get into comparing Metroid and Donkey Kong. Anyhow, so that's 2, and then 3. Do you go with sort of the DK verse Mario handheld series? Do you go with
That's what I was gonna.
the musical titles?
And I mean,
I think I'm gonna say Donkey Kong Country 1.
yeah.
Just because it had such a one as the start of the franchise, and I did like the unique vibe. I feel like as the DKC games went along, they got a little goofier, but Donkey Kong Country 1 was pretty hardcore. Like there were some levels in like factories and in like weird plants, and plants as in like power plants, not like inside of a flower. And just like it was just sort of like a gritty game. And I like that.
It was darker.
Yes.
Even just visually, like the dark oranges and the blacks, it was like visually striking, especially at the time. It was a beautiful game. But my 3 games are, I think, exactly what yours are. Donkey Kong Country, the original, just because the originator, and that was the first Donkey Kong game I ever played. I hadn't played anything previous to that, although I do know those games exist. Again, Donkey Kong 64 for the nostalgia, and Donkey Kong Country 2 because it's cool. I don't like Donkey Kong Country 3 at all, though. I think 3 is bad.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like 3.
Is it because of Baby Kong?
I think.
Or because the bosses are and like the stage, or do you not like driving the hoverboat around the map?
I like none of that. Everything you're mentioning, I don't like it. So yeah.
Who is your favorite Donkey Kong character?
I like Diddy. I like Diddy. I feel like internally my spirit is what Diddy is.
Okay, just very jovial, supportive.
Yeah.
Small.
Yes.
Jake.
Does it have to be a Kong?
No.
No.
Oh,
Is
then
that an alligator?
it could be a Claptrap just because the sound is so amazing.
Yeah.
Sound design is really, really important to that
Zach
series.
last night was that Rhino.
Rambi?
Yeah.
My favorite by far is Dixie Kong.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of you too. So.
Yeah. I feel like you'd say Diddy as well.
Well, I just said a Claptrap.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's your favorite? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so given that, where do we want this to go for Switch, and where do you think it will go for Switch?
I can go first on this. I don't think it'll go in this direction, and I keep saying things like this, and I know it's not going to happen, but I really wanted to hand it off to a smaller developer. Although, we have decent confirmation that Retro is not working on Metroid, so they could very easily be making another Donkey Kong game or a new IP, who knows. But I want the next Donkey Kong game to not be this big thing. I also don't want it to be involved with Mario at all. Donkey Kong, get your own game. Make a really cool platformer with like awesome levels and fantastic music and cool visuals, and make it a $20 downloadable game. Like, I want that.
You're really on this like
I'm on
small
it.
game
Dude,
hype.
I'm on it. I want it. I think it's a great move for Nintendo. We saw Mario Run be super successful. People are willing to pay less for these games.
Just don't put it on mobile because people freak out when you see $10
Yeah,
on mobile.
no, don't put it on mobile. But charge $25 for a like smaller Donkey Kong game, but that's pure platforming, pure like great level design, and fantastic music. Like that's all I want from the Switch. I want smaller games.
Okay.
I think that, for me, at least in my head, like, Donkey Kong is like a major Nintendo character, but for me, he always, like, his games and everything kind of just take, like, a backseat to, like, the Links and the Marios and things like that. So I'm kind of on the same At first, I was thinking maybe just like have something insanely cool and big to make DK like a very prominent IP. But I think I'm gonna go with Gabe's theory, and like the way that they spun off Toad's Treasure Tracker and made it a very unique Nintendo experience that's not like any other Nintendo game, and they just took like one solid character and built like a little world around them, and not some massive 3D world, not some crazy platform that has 20 worlds or levels or whatever, but just something very unique for Donkey Kong and the other Kongs to exist in, is what I would want. I don't know exactly how it would be, but maybe just not have it be another generic side-scrolling platform like Tropical Freeze or something, but have it be something that's a new mechanic that we've never seen Donkey Kong or any Nintendo character for that matter have, and maybe utilize the Switch's like portability for something. I don't know, just something new and different that's hasn't been done before.
As you walk with the Switch on your backpack or something, you get extra bananas. How's that? A la Pokemon Go. But
and then you can have loot boxes attached to Chiquita bananas. And you buy the bananas, you get extra codes for loot boxes. I'm gonna take sort of a completely divergent approach from both of you.
You want huge open world Donkey Kong?
No,
climbing trees.
I do think a DK RPG would be absolutely brilliant, like old school battle of King K. Rool versus Donkey Kong in an RPG setting. Turn-based. I think that'd be great, but knowing that's probably off the table.
And there's already the Mario Rabbids crossover in the mix.
I do feel like Diddy Kong Country or Diddy Kong Racing, that was rumored for a while. There was a Donkey Kong Racing game for GameCube that never saw the light of day. There were rumors about Diddy Kong Racing 2 for quite a while through the Wii and Wii U era. I feel like Nintendo knows how successful Mario Kart is. Given the fact that we're getting the port of 8, that tells me 9 is far off. Do you think that there's, a chance that they could want to fill in another racing title, which is more of a party, more of a social, more of a, mainstream title? I think Diddy Kong Racing for Switch would be a big hit.
How do you get more party than Mario Kart? I feel like that's pretty...
No, I just mean more than like, another side-scroller.
I don't know. Unfortunately, I feel like where Donkey Kong is headed is where it's been for the last few years. Where
and that's where, that's where I think it's going. I still think Diddy Kong Racing is a possibility, but my next point was going to be, if you look at New Super Mario Bros., to me, that sort of back to basics with the franchise and then evolving it into New Super Mario Bros. On Wii U and then Super Mario 3D World, kind of, again, that sort of is like the next logical step for that format, right? You have the sort of pure side-scrolling, and now you kind of add more of that 3D-ness or that perspective without going totally open or totally 3D. So I could see Nintendo wanting to do a similar thing with Donkey Kong.
We're gonna have Donkey Kong DK Jungle 3D.
DK 3D Country.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
So because Mario is now going back to a big 3D game a la Galaxy or 64, what if they took Donkey Kong and expanded it beyond Tropical Freeze and Returns and gave us sort of a hybrid a la Mario 3D World, so that you could, appeal to the platforming audience, appeal to sort of that old school Nintendo audience, and also deliver an experience that isn't just a repeat of what we've seen Retro do twice now.
Yeah.
Or what if they say, look at Plants vs. Zombies and how great that was. What if we made DK Jungle Wars and they just had some crazy shooter? Like they took the battle mode from the N64 game and just expanded it into this full
shooting bananas.
Yeah. You got the coconut guns, the orange grenades, you have all that stuff. And
I thought that would be great. I thought you were gonna say a grid-based tower defense game.
They can do that too.
Where DK is protecting his banana horde, and all of the Kremlings are coming at him, and he has to use all the Kongs.
That's what I'm saying. It's something totally new and
all
unique.
The fruits and stuff to keep them away. I mean, frankly, to me,
DK Treetop Defense. There you go.
There you go.
There we go. Nintendo, we made you your next Donkey Kong game. Send the check. And go ahead.
I think DK is a much more exciting franchise than people give it credit for, and I know you're hopeful that Retro, is doing Metroid or that they're focused there. Most likely they're not. So I think that honestly the future of DK is very bright, and I feel like it's going to be a part of Switch because those games did not sell like gangbusters on Wii and Wii U, but they were incredibly well received.
Yeah.
and given a larger install base, they could be hits. And again, if you find a way, whether it is via, a Plants vs. Zombies alike, or whether it is via racing game or opening up 3D world style, I think that you can convert DK nowhere near as much as Mario or Zelda, but you can make it an evergreen title that could be very popular on Switch.
Yeah.
So I'm super hopeful that they take at least one of these ideas and run with it. Any final comments on the future of the Donkey Kong franchise?
Not really. Just that maybe take your time and let Retro go do other stuff.
I really hope that they just keep it within the Donkey Kong and not like have like a DK Racing or something where they bring in all these other characters. I really want, or create some like new world. I really want them to kind of go back to the Donkey Kong Country world, but then expand, like make it a different game.
And
those characters.
also, the fact that the DK minecart is going to be a pivotal part of Nintendo World at Universal.
Yeah.
I mean, DK's. I feel like he's due, right? I
Yeah.
feel like he's due for a big game to match up with that, and I'm so excited for that ride because minecart levels in DK are the absolute
They're
one of
great.
the best things.
But let us know what games you like in the comments for sure. I'm interested what Donkey Kong games people perceive as their favorite, because Donkey Kong is not like a franchise that's like necessarily top tier for Nintendo, I feel like, but it's right there. So I'm interested what people think.
Yeah, give us your feedback on your favorite past Donkey Kong games and your hopes for the future of Donkey Kong games. I also hope that we get a big DK game so we can get a DK amiibo line, because as a weird obsessive amiibo collector, I would love to have a Cranky Kong amiibo.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Kane.
Very, very good. Lanky Kong, Chunky Kong, Tiny Kong. And we are now going to hum the rap in our heads, and we'll carry forth to the next part of our Nintendo franchise series. Guess what game we're doing next?
Yes. Hey,
Guess.
you want me to? No, let them guess.
Oh, okay, you guys guess. And until that time, for myself, Jake, and Gabe, Switch Force out.